Okay, today I'm going to show you how to take a t-shirt and make loopers. So we're going to make some recycled t-shirt loopers today. As you can see, I just have a regular shirt. I got this one from Goodwill. So the first thing I do is cut the neckline off. If there's a crew neck, you can cut it off. It doesn't really matter what the neckline is. There could be buttons, whatever. Just get rid of it because this fabric is doubled up and too thick to use as a looper. And so you want to remove the tag too. Next thing I do is take off the sleeves. And what I do is I cut inside the seam line, so into the main body. So the sleeve seam is right here. I cut just beyond that. So when I remove it, that seam line is going to be attached to the sleeve still. I just get that out of the way. And as you can see, I'm not worrying about being real neat with my cutting. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is remove this bottom hem. Again, this fabric is doubled up, so you want to just remove that and get it out of the way. You can cut the front and back parts, make them two pieces, but I find that it's just faster just to fold it. So once you get all the pieces you want to remove off, the sleeves, the neckline, and that bottom hem, just try to get it to lay as flat as possible. And with a lot of these shirts, the old shirts, especially ones that end up at Goodwill, they're kind of misshapen sometimes, which isn't a big deal since you're not going to be wearing it, but so I'm going to have to wrestle with it a little bit. Okay, so then from here, I like to use a rotary cutter. You don't have to have a rotary cutter. If you don't have a rotary cutter, you can just cut strips every 2 inches, but if you have a rotary cutter and mat, it does make it go a lot faster. I like to use this cutting template, which is really fantastic and makes things go really fast. So just cut strips every 2 inches, and my rotary cutter really needs a new blade, so this is looking like it's a little harder than it actually is. Okay, so you're left with a bunch of these giant loops, and what I do is I just pile them up, and if your blade is not sharp enough, you might have to cut them apart. Not a big deal. And as you can see, these are not perfectly straight, and that's totally fine. You kind of line them up. What I'll do is just make one quick cut, just like that, to get the end pieces off so it's all straight. And then what I like to do for the standard pothole loom, depending on how much stretch you want, like how much tension you want on your loom, I like to cut them about 6 to 6.5 inches. Now every piece of fabric is going to stretch a little bit differently, and I'm just going to turn this a little bit here. So I'm just going to look and just cut straight up. I'm at 6.5 inches here, and this is just I'm eyeballing it. Not a big deal. I don't really get hung up on having this be perfect. And just keep cutting your pieces. All right. Okay, so you're left with a little pile here. So what I'll do is cut. I've been overusing my equipment because my scissors needs to be oiled and sharpened. And what I'm doing here is I'm just rounding off the corners. And then just fold it in half. And cut up the center, and you want to leave about a 1/2 inch to a 1/4 inch at the top, so you're not cutting all the way through. If you cut all the way through, you will not have a loop. You'll have just a strand of jersey that you can't do a whole lot with. So you're left with this. Now what happens, and you want to just cut all these the same way. And then what happens when you put it on your loom, you just stretch it across, and these will kind of roll in on themselves. So when you take it off, it actually looks more like a looper, when you stretch it out. So you can just put these on, and you're good to go. You can mix up colors as you see fit, and basically anything jersey is fair game. It works really well for this. And I'd like to credit the Beer Horse family for showing me showing me how to make these, because I'll have a link in my website to their site so you can see who they are, and I've interviewed them and you can hear their story. But yeah, I found that this has worked really well with just making, you can use these looper pot holders to make rugs and all kinds of things. And in fact, we can show you a work in progress here. This is a series of 9 different t-shirts here, and basically you need at least a size medium to get enough loopers, because on a 13 peg loom you need to make sure you have 26 loops. So I find that size medium is the smallest I want to go, but if you can find extra large shirts primarily, that works really well, because you know you're not going to run out. I'll be connecting these squares together to make a rug. So you'll need, I'm going to add another row of 3, so this rug will have will require 12 t-shirts. But it's also fun to make plaids and striped effects. So yeah, there's a lot you can do with this. If you have any questions, you can email me, Jennifer@craftsanity.com.